All right, here we go. Delivering another superstar to the Junkie Nation. Gorgeous George and Goes have gotten their hands on Jamahal Hill. He's joining us here for a quick interview post-fight UFC on ESPN 9. He defeated Klidson Abreu. Devastating knee to the body, followed up with some smacking around, and it was all over. Congratulations. That was very, very impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And so, Jamahal, this is actually our first time meeting. And what I'm about to say, there's a good chance you might go, who are these fools, you know? But I want to explain to you because Goes and I have been doing this show for a long time. And there's a process. I've seen it happen so many times with fighters. And all it takes is one fight. And all of a sudden it's like, wham, you know, like you're it right now. You know what I mean? You came off a great KO. A great TKO stoppage, and of course the whole Halle Berry thing that helped out. But I'm telling you, it's funny because usually young fighters, that they haven't even had their 10 professional fights. A few minutes ago, Goes told me, he goes, "Hey, Jamahal's gonna come in early," you know, and I was like, "Awesome, I'm ready," you know, because I've been pumped up about this. Last week before the fight, if he would have said that, I would have been like, "Oh man," you know, whatever. And it's just funny the way someone's profile just lives at the right time. You know, it has nothing to do against Klidson, has nothing to do with the need of the body. It was just the timing of it all, man. It was a beautiful thing. And I can already tell that you're going to have this skyrocketing type of career if you keep things going, man. So congrats on just taking that next big step.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And
just came in and just doing work, man, doing what I've been doing, you know. People just seeing a portion of just what I am, man. For real. I've been dominant. You know what I mean?
have you felt the difference? Have you gotten like more followers on the gram or more texts? Did you notice that this fight was a lot different from the others? Was there a bigger spotlight for you?
I noticed the spotlight with the scope was bigger. My followers on social media pretty much doubled since then. So yeah, that's good. And yeah, other than that, I usually get a lot of shout outs and stuff after my fights. But this one, it really blew up.
Who is going to keep you grounded? Because I love checking out your Instagram and seeing the love you have for your teammates, your coaches, the people that got you here. But of course, when an athlete in any sport, not just fighting, has, you know, that type of a moment, all of a sudden, like you said, you know, your followers doubled, opportunities are out there. So who keeps you grounded and focused on the task at hand, which is to be a world champion one day?
My upbringing keeps me grounded. You know, it's the way I was raised. You know, I was raised to be myself, and I'm gonna continue to be me. I know I'm successful from being myself and keep staying the course of staying true to who I am and what I like to do and things like that. So that's what's gonna keep me grounded, and that's what's gonna keep me hungry. The fact that I'm not done yet. You know what I'm saying? This is like, yeah, it was my dream to make it here, but my dreams far exceed just that, just making it here. You know what I mean? I'm here to leave my mark on this game and on this business and in this world, you know. So that's what keep me hungry and that's what keep me going.
I love hearing that. Is there specifically like a relative or a mentor or, you know, somebody from your childhood that when you refer to your upbringing, was it just, you know, all of Grand Rapids or somebody specifically?
I mean, it's my mom. You know what I mean? This is a lot of people played a role in me being the person I am. My mom, my dad, you know what I mean? My brothers, my sister, my cousins, you know, my boys, you know, the people I grew up around, you know. I'm a competitor because of a lot of the dudes I grew up with. We just competed a lot in a bunch of different things, whether it was playing basketball, football, chess, video games, didn't matter what it was, you know what I mean? I was built to be a strong competitor.
Do you remember the first time you could beat either an older sibling or your pops in basketball and how good that felt when all of a
Yeah.
sudden, you know, you weren't getting smacked around on the court or something?
I mean, I never really got smacked around for real like that. I've always been able to hold my own. But like, yeah, it was like whenever I was the one rival I had as far as family guys with the basketball thing was my brother Jermaine, that's like right above me, that's just older than me. me and him was kind of at it, and we used to play 1-on-1. And then I think I was like 14, and then I realized me and him was at it, and I realized, yeah, bro don't have nothing for me anymore. I was just fast. I was just fast, a little quicker laterally, and I was able to mix things in like my strength and stuff. I had a little better footwork and stuff like that. So yeah,
Is that
my
your
other
second
two
best
brothers.
sport? Basketball? Is
That's
that
my
your second best sport?
Is that my second best? I mean, it's probably a tie between that and football. You know, I played semi-pro football for like about a year or two. You know, so I played football like my whole life. Basketball, I played my whole life too. So it's just been, yeah, those are my things.
What was
Basketball
your
and
most
football, my sports.
devastating weapon in basketball?
Same thing it is in fighting. My IQ.
Okay, nice.
I'm able to. I know. I'm able to identify where I have them, where I have the advantages at, and take advantage of openings whenever they're there. You know, I can score anywhere with a basketball, and my defense is solid.
Something tells me you're a Pistons fan. Is that true?
Depends on the early 2000 Pistons. Yeah. Like I was born in Chicago, you know, and I grew up down in Southern Illinois, like till I was about 12. I moved to Grand Rapids when I was 12. So yeah, I've been here like pretty much most of my life. But yeah, I had other spots and other places of influence as well.
Back in 2004, my Lakers made it to the finals. And I actually traveled with that team a little bit. Like Goes and I don't know if you know this, but we're brothers. And we went to San Antonio and we caught the Spurs and the Lakers. And then I actually caught a game against the Timberwolves. Then we met up with Detroit. So I went to Detroit. Oh my God, what a nightmare, man! If I never have to hear
they got
basketball ever again in my life, I'll be a happy guy. But I really thought we were going to go in there and smack the Pistons around, and Chauncey Billups and the rest of the squad did not let it happen.
That boy Rip showed up. They all showed up. I remember that series. Like I remember watching all of those. I remember watching all the old Pistons, all those Pistons series and everything. Because you know we didn't have cable. You know what I'm saying? And I was a basketball fan, so that's what I had to watch. You know, Rasheed Wallace was my favorite player. You know, just the attitude, the grit, the tenacity, and then whenever he showed in, sometimes whenever his team needed, he showed up. You know what I'm saying? Did whatever his team needed. That was kind of the player I was.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Goes in just a second, but I'll tell you this: since you follow the hoops game, if you go on MMA Junkie, maybe later on today or something, we did an article, more specifically, my colleague Dan Tom, and he talked about the toughest basketball players who we thought could have done well in MMA. It was really, really interesting. But I remember he put Rick Mahorn, so we're going real old school here, and then he also mentioned Rasheed Wallace. As well, but it was pretty interesting. I think you might like it, but let me turn it over to Goes.
No nonsense.
Yeah, Goes has some questions for you too. Go ahead.
All right.
So Jamal, this fight in particular, one of the things that stood out is, again, it was at the Apex Center. That's where you were for Contender Series, and I have to imagine with your style, that smaller cage, it's got to feel a little better, right? Like, you don't have to chase people down. I mean, you're one of those guys that wants to engage and take it to your opponent. Did you feel a difference between smaller and bigger cage?
I mean, shit, I wasn't really in there long enough to be able to decipher out a difference. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's a difference. It makes it a little bit more close-quarter, but at the same time, though, wouldn't it have been more of an advantage for him, seeing as how he wanted to close the range and wanted to grab, you know what I mean? He wanted to grapple in exchange. So, I mean, so it's however you want to look at it. But for me, it was just a fight was a fight. But I will say, because like people got me confused, like talking about as far as my takedown defense and things like that. Go back and watch any of my other fights. Like I fought Will Vincent. All right, this is a guy here from Michigan. His record may not be impressive or anything like that, but his grappling, his wrestling, his jiu-jitsu is very, very real. You know what I mean? The dude was like he wrestled at like Michigan State. His dad was like the coach at Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? So dude's wrestling is legit. Ask him if it's easy to take me down or grapple with me. You know what I'm saying? He's a black belt.
I was thinking about something, and I'm going to need you to put your mind into somebody along with somebody else's, because on that card, there were a lot of Contender Series people on that card. But you were able to fight at the Apex and then get a UFC fight outside with fans, the walkout, the whole experience, then come back to the Apex. Some of those guys had their Contenders match, and then this was their first UFC fight, but kind of almost in the exact same setting where, Contenders has some people in the audience, but not that many. What do you think that would have been like for you had you not had that in-between fight and this was your first UFC fight with no fans, nothing? Would you have felt like you got, you made it, you were in the UFC, you got the experience? Would it have felt a lot different for you?
Oh man, I don't know. We talking as like a what if, so I don't really know exactly. But for me, it was no different. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even notice that there wasn't a crowd there. To be honest, because whenever I walk into the cage, I'm locked in. I don't hear, even when it was 20,000 people in Raleigh, I didn't hear them. You know what I mean? I could hear them at points. I mean, certain times whenever they got loud to a degree, I heard the USA chants, but outside of that, only thing I hear is my coaches. You know what I'm saying? I'm that far locked in. It's just it just goes deaf to me.
Now, you're an undefeated fighter, and I feel like when somebody comes into the UFC, there's a certain amount of fights that they have before they can go in front of the champion. But an undefeated fighter, I feel like, has maybe one, maybe even two less because of that zero. When you assess where you're at today and you look at the champ, if you keep racking up these performances in your mind, how far away do you feel you are? How many fights to get to the champion?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not even really looking at that. People keep talking about, oh, you need to slow down. You're not ready for John Jones. Skill wise, I'm ready for anybody in the world. I'm gonna make that shit clear. I don't care what nobody says. But at this time, I'm not really even looking at that. I'm just trying to get my fights in, establish myself in this game and in this company. You know what I'm saying? Because why hurry up and rush up to the top if I'm not gonna be paid to be up there at the top? You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. So I'm gonna take my time.
They say when you don't have an opponent in front of you, you're preparing for whoever is the current champion. When you look at John, when you look at him, do you see other fighters that have fought him in the past? Do you see John having weaknesses that haven't been exploited, or do you look at it as just a matter of I just got to be better than him?
Obviously, I look at things. I look at the details in the fight and in the game. And yeah, I do see openings and weaknesses where I could take full advantage of, just as a fighter being and analyzing things the way I do. Yeah, I've seen them. They're there. They can be exploited. Just nobody's exploited them yet. Just because nobody's exploited them yet don't mean that they can't be exploited. You know what I mean?
Are you watching the situation that's developing with John Jones and Dana White? Does it interest you at all? Is Jones the guy you would want to win the title from, or do you just focus on the title, whoever has it?
Like I said, I'm not really even focusing on that for real right now. I'm just trying to put my footprint in this game. Whoever's up there, whoever has the belt, gonna be the belt. The belt's not going anywhere. Somebody's gonna have it. Me personally, as for the years and that I've put in and things like that, it's always been to train to fight the absolute best. I want to be regarded as one of the greatest. In order to be one of the greatest, you have to beat at least one or some of the greats. You know what I mean? And John Jones is that for me. So yeah, for me, that fight at some point in my career has to happen for me.
I'll tell you what, about a year ago, the division, maybe a year and a half or two, I should say, when Anthony Johnson retired and DC kind of just focused on heavyweight, the cupboard was a little bit bare, but man, it's getting really exciting again. Reyes gave him a good fight. Thiago Santos gave him a good fight. Blachowicz is there. And then you still got a few veterans like Shogun and Nogueira. It's a nice little mix. at 205. So I can definitely see that division starting to heat up again and get exciting. So I'm really glad a guy like you arrived on the scene. You throw in Corey Anderson, you throw in Johnny Walker, and I'm telling you, at one point, Jamal, the 205 division was the UFC's marquee division when it was Couture,
Yeah, I remember.
Vitor, and Liddell. And I think it needs to get back to that. I think you can help usher that in.
That's why I'm here, man. I'm here to make noise. I'm here to entertain, bring the show and all of that, man, I got a lot of visions. I got a lot of visions for myself and how in the market and things that I want to leave. I just hope the vision is ready and they game for it.
You're already 2-0 in 2020. How many more fights do you want in 2020? Could this be a 4-fight year for you since we're still not even halfway through?
I'm already looking at a quick turnaround, trying to get back in there. I ain't taking no damage, I made short work of it and I want some more work. So, however many.
What was going back to your family and friends? What was it like when you got back to Grand Rapids? The reception from everybody. I know MMA is a sport that is tough for people to get into at first. It's like, what's going on here? Is it cockfighting? Is it this? What is it? But then all of a sudden they realize ESPN, proper athletes. You know what I mean? So what was this one like for you when you got back?
Man, I always get support from my people, but coming back to the city when I did the same night that I had my fight, it was riots here in my city. They tore up all the downtown and everything like that. So it's just honestly, it's just been a mess since I've come back. I've been in the house. I haven't really, I haven't really gone out, really spoke to anybody or anything. They've implemented a curfew. The National Guard is here. There's videos from Grand Rapids going all around of police just going off on citizens with the force that they're using. It's just been crazy. It hasn't been really a focus on what I've done type of time.
All right, finally, going back to your coaches, could you tell us a little bit about the gyms that you're associated with, the coaches, and give them a little bit of shine? I feel like there's a lot of new athletes like yourself and a lot of new gyms, or not new gyms, but gyms that are getting spotlighted, and sometimes they don't get the love. So tell me a little bit about your team and your coaches.
Man, I always rave about my coaches in my gym. I train at the Black Lion Academy, created by Chad Pomeroy, my big brother. That's my head coach. That's who I've been with since day one, since the first day I walked into a MMA gym. It's my jiu-jitsu coach. We have our head jiu-jitsu instructor, Coiler Gracie. Our whole team trains under him. He's our head instructor for our style and for our team. Johnny Grigware is my striking coach. He's been with me since I was 18. He came in a few months after I'd already started into the gym or whatever, and he's been everything that I needed. The striking, the stand up that you see, the evolutions that I make in my stand up, they credit it to him. And the guy he learned from, Magnus, our other coach, Magnus. Magnus Johnny teaches the finesse. Magnus teaches you how to punish people. He teaches pain. He teaches ruthlessness. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I picked up some things here and there from different gyms I've trained at. I've stopped through a couple other gyms, but I've always been at the same gym. I've always had the same home. I've always had the same coaches. And yeah, Chad Pomeroy, Johnny Grigware, those are the two main dudes who have molded me and made me into the fighter that I am and taught me the game the way that I know how to play the game.
Man, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on the gym and on those coaches. And I'll tell you what, the minute you said Magnus, I go, oh, man, that guy sounds tough. I never met a Magnus that wasn't some sort of a monster either.
Magnus is nasty, dude. Magnus is nasty. He's one of, man. All right. The best kicker I've ever seen in my life. The best kicker, hands down. If he kicks you, you don't even have to try. He could snap your leg in half. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. It's insane. He grew up, he's from Sweden. He grew up in that. I've heard stories about the training and stuff he received coming up. It was pretty brutal. And
Very
now he just
cool.
passes on that knowledge. He passes on the knowledge on it to us.
I'll have to definitely look him up as well. Hey, by the way, with the whole thing with Halle Berry, did you get a follow out of it, follow back, or is it just a celeb
I
fan from a
follow
different?
her. I follow Holly. You know, I appreciate the shout out and everything, but I don't even know if she control her page or anything like that. So, you know, it was just appreciation. And maybe in the future we'll see each other, we'll meet, and you know, what I mean, I get to thank her personally and things like that. And yeah,
My man, thank you so much for joining us here on MMA Junkie Radio. It's great to get to meet you here. Again, I can't say enough about your performance on Saturday. And it wasn't just a win. I'm telling you, Jamal, it was a win. It was a statement win. I just see already traction, you know what I mean, to your career. And I know you got some big days ahead of you. So glad you have a strong family and team, around you, like you said, that's keeping you grounded and keeping you focused. So we're all pumped up, man. Can't wait to see your next fight and see how your career plays out. But in the meantime, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Stay safe. There's a lot that we're going through right now with the riots and, of course, the pandemic. So that goes to you and your family and all your close ones. On behalf of us, man, we're always thinking about everybody out there
I
that are
appreciate that.
experiencing tough times.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, yeah, this fight, you really got to see what it's really like to be up against me. Last fight, there's the Stosic fight. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, like, the reason why Stosic made it through that fight. In all honesty, if you look at the punches I hit Abreu with and the same punches and the punches I hit him with, it was a little different because I broke my hand at like about 5 weeks before that fight. My hand wasn't fully healed. My hand is definitely fully healed now. It's got the same power, the same pop, and everything that it had before. And people really about to feel that.
Cool. And just real quick, I just thought of something. You're saying that you may actually fight pretty soon. Like, is the phone already ringing with offers, or did you mean like maybe in a few months still?
As soon as possible, as soon as possible, as soon as I can get
Yeah.
back in there, I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I already told I let the UFC know, and I let my people know I'm ready. Let's get it. You know,
There you go. All right. I'm
they
happy.
told me they're gonna keep me as busy as I want to be. We're gonna see.
All right, let's do it. Cool. Hey, thank you so much again for the time, and hopefully we'll run into you in Vegas sometime and introduce ourselves. But we appreciate it. Your time is spent
For
today.
sure.
All right, take care.
For sure. Thanks for having me.